1999, often regarded as the last good year in history. Famous for nu metal, jinkos, everyone thought it was the end of the world, so of course everything was amped up to 11, including Formula 1. One of the greatest seasons of all time took place this year, and we're going to run you through it because we've realised many people, including ourselves, weren't even born to see it. Where do we start?
Hang on. We only just realised that we weren't born to see it.
I didn't.
You aren't the brightest star in the sky, are you, lad?
We realised a lot of people probably don't know how good 99 was because they weren't alive to see it. That's what I meant. Okay, right, I hate you. Why do I record? We're also doing this because it was a very unpredictable year, like this year and like last year. It's perfect timing. Pre-season was looking interesting. Obviously, McLaren won the last championship and they were hoping to retain that title. They'd made a pretty good car, saying it was entirely new. Every other team was looking how they usually look, doing extremely boring formal presentations. Nothing has really changed over the years. Williams was ugly.
That is the worst looking car in the whole world. I'd rather look at one of your dingleberries.
It would have worked if they didn't have the little bit of blue at the back. Like, what's that doing?
Minardi was still looking shit. They'd signed Marc Genet. In the immortal words of Rob, bless up my guy, I have no idea who you are.
I know who he is.
Do you?
What geezer? Marc Genet?
Name one thing he did in his career, go.
Clash.
Now that's enough about that. Let's talk about the races. As I said earlier, McLaren were trying to keep their advantage from last year, and they did. Hakkinen was on pole, with Coulthard starting right beside him, a grid pairing that would inevitably carry on through the season. Would Coulthard ever take advantage of it? Fuck no! Schumacher started third. He had to start from the back of the grid. His car gave up on him on the formation lap. Sick. The lights went on, Jackie Stewart's hopes and dreams crashed because both of his cars blew up. The second formation lap. Basically everyone stalled. David Coulthard retired from the race because his car was shit. Eddie Irvine managed to overtake Hakkinen. Oh yeah, Eddie Irvine. He exists. Remember that name? It's important. Villeneuve decided he was bored, so got rid of his rear wing. Hakkinen also decided he had enough, as did his gearbox, so he retired from the race. Not the start to the season McLaren wanted. Eddie Irvine ended up winning the race to the expectation of absolutely no one. Hakkinen was once again on pole. Coulthard was once again next to him. Will their luck change today? No, because as soon as the race starts, David Coulthard's car stalls. Sick. Barrichello, on the other hand, actually managed to qualify third. Somehow. You may know Rubens Barrichello as Ferrari's lapdog.
It doesn't look as though there's going to be any team orders here. I do not, Adam and Eve, what is going on?
But before that, he was a very good driver that just lacked the right car. And after Villeneuve stalled, he went up to second. He carried on, and he chased down Hakkinen, and he overtook him, leading the race in a Stewart. The other Stewart, however, Johnny Herbert, what a guy, retired because his hydraulics gave up. That's fine, he wasn't really doing anything anyway. Barrichello pitted, came out, overtook Eddie Irvine and looked very strong. Could this gorgeous Brazilian win his home race? No, he can't. His engine blew up. Big up Barrichello, he tried his best, but he probably would have only got a podium anyway. So, what happened? Hakkinen won. That's basically it. There was also a mad crash by Stefan Sarazan.
He's my solicitor, I think.
He's renowned for being absolutely wank.
Yeah, and he hit a wall, did like 20 trillion spins, and yeah. Once again, it was Hakkinen on pole, Coulthard next to him, and Schumacher. Not much really happened in this race, except a couple of crashes, with Hakkinen very comfortably leading the race. Oh dear. How the hell did that happen? Coulthard is now leading the race. Sick. Schumacher is right behind him. He ends up with a better strategy because, oh my god, in the 90s, Ferrari could make a strategy. To a modern fan, such as I, that is like Haas winning a race. I can't envision it. But Schumacher won the race. Barrichello got a podium. Wow. People now cry about celebrities in F1, but I tell you what, it's always been the fucking same, because Monaco is the home of the poser.
Elizabeth Hurley, hello. You're soaking up the atmosphere. Are you a Grand Prix fan?
I never have been before. This is my first time, and now I'm going to become a groupie.
Yeah, what do you like most about it?
Actually, the boys are pretty cute. Going up to the first corner, as for the takeoff, or whatever they call it here.
It's called the start.
This weird video I was watching of 99, it said that Melinda Messenger was there.
She was in Stranger Things, wasn't she?
I genuinely have no idea. Anyway, Jeff Goldblum and Val Kilmer were there. Why don't we get cool celebrities anyway?
Well, Megan Thee Stallion.
I can do that because I did.
Hakkinen once again was on pole, but this time Schumacher's beside him, and Coulthard is third. Coulthard? Coulthard, yeah, that works. Anyway, in typical Monaco fashion, Schumacher pretty much immediately takes the lead and fucks off. McLaren, under threat of not winning the race, decided to do something that they would shamelessly copy 26 years later. Fumble. DC's engine blew up. That wasn't his fault. Okay. Hakkinen went straight on at Mirabeau. Yeah, corners didn't really agree with him this year. Yeah, there was a Stewart double DNF as well, because Stewart was so bipolar. So many people crashed in this race. And shortly after his brother stacked it into the wall, Michael Schumacher won the race. Sick. And he's now comfortably leading the championship. Also, they raised the Irish flag for Eddie Irvine on the podium.
Up the Ra, Nigel. I mean, I know that you said...
Spain has always been boring, and this was no exception. The only real thing of note is that Jacques Villeneuve managed to hold up Schumacher for nearly the whole race, which I hate to give credit to the guy, but it was quite impressive. What wasn't impressive is the pit stop that destroyed his race. I'm just going to play it.
In the BAR, 8th is Barrichello, 9th is Deniz, and 10th is Damon Hill.
Look, they're taking a rear wing element out of Villeneuve's. They're taking an element out to reduce the rear wing. I don't see the point in doing that in the middle of a race, unless it was already loose on one side. Now, don't just try and break the whole please, because you just reach the side fence. Off he goes, and they need to get... Oh, now he's stalled the engine.
Wow, what a mess.
They're going to push him forward. I don't think they'll start because there's not enough hydraulics to...
Yeah, it doesn't really get worse than that. It was actually McLaren's first 1-2 in the season, despite a lot of the races DC started right next to Hakkinen, but hey, whatever.
Oh, Canada. Oh, that was sick. All right, okay. Fisichella somehow managed lap 1 to go from 7th to 4th in a Benetton. Yeah, that's right. He didn't have a car. He had a fucking Italian clothing brand, and he managed to make up 3 positions in the first lap. That is talent right there. I know there's a lot of Fisichella fanboys in the comments. Make some noise for him. Come on, let's go. Jarno Trulli, on the other hand, a man known for the Trulli train, aka being slow. He forgot that his brake pedal existed. By the way, that's the one on the left, fella. And he took out both Alesi and Barrichello out of the race. Turn 1, lap 1. Why don't turn 1, lap 1 crashes happen anymore? When was the last time we had a proper pile-up? I mean, I don't count Perez sending himself into the stratosphere at the Mexico Grand Prix. I want like
pile-up 2021.
5. What pile-up in Monza 2021, Jamie?
I was thinking of a different race. When Bottas went bowling.
That was Hungary.
Yes, okay.
But okay. Leaky twat, mate. So it's been 4 years. Let's get back on topic, lads. Schumacher led the race for time until he clips a curb and hits the wall of champions. He wasn't the first though. Damon Hill hit it first in his jaw, and both him and Schumacher blamed themselves, saying that they just lost control of the car. It is a difficult corner after all.
I lost control of the vehicle and hit the wall.
That was very clearly a mistake by myself.
However, the third person to hit the wall was Jacques Villeneuve. Whilst Schumacher and Hill had enough humility to take responsibility for the accident, Jacques Villeneuve blamed dust.
Some drivers cut it pretty hard and there's a lot of sand going on the track, so if you're just a little bit wide, You lose a lot of grip. And
Cheers, mate. Couldn't have happened to a worse person. And hence the wall got its name, since all of them, surprise, surprise, were champions. Meanwhile, Eddie Irvine and David Coulthard raced each other for second for a couple of laps before hitting each other and spinning out in typical mid fashion. They both threw away a potential podium. Incredible scenes. After that spin, Eddie Irvine was stuck behind Herbert for ages until he finally managed to get past in a move where he just literally just pushed them both, Herbert and himself, off the track. No penalty was taken because the FIA were based back in the day, although they were run by a son of a Nazi at the time. But anyway,
Jesus Christ, he's like drawing blood from a stone.
shut the fuck up, prick. In the midst of all the chaos and buffoonery that were taking place in this race, Frentzen and Fisichella found themselves fighting for P2. It was a legendary battle for the ages. Think of Shifu versus Tai Li. What's the snow leopard's name in Kung Fu?
Tai Lung, know your law.
Tai Lung. I was so close, bro. I was so close. Until Frentzen remembered who he was and managed to just fuck off. It seemed sure that he would get P2. Murray fucking jinxed it.
Heinz-Harald Frentzen's just got one race victory behind, and I think he's going to finish second this time. And off goes Frentzen. Well,
His brakes decided to give up the ghost and
sent him into the wall. What a shame. I mean, his daughter would have had so much more to post about on TikTok.
Meanwhile, the race finished under safety car and Hakkinen crossed the line first. It was the first race to finish under safety car in Formula 1 history, and unfortunately we'd have to suffer that fate many times. That's the end.
Are you not going to mention Fisichella finishing second in the Benetton?
Oh yeah.
Seeing as you know, Fisichella finishing second in a Benetton is quite important. Learn to read.
It rained so much the day before that qualifying was out of whack completely, which resulted in the weirdest grid order I've ever seen. Olivier Panis got third in a Prost. Jean Alesi started second in a Sauber. Barrichello got pole. A lot of people were saying there wouldn't even be a race.
David Coulthard is warning that someone could be killed if heavy rain hits the race this afternoon.
I mean, to be fair, they didn't want a repeat of Belgium last year. But alas, it went ahead. And what a race it was. David Coulthard immediately took the lead, and Hakkinen and Schumacher carved through the field like a hot knife through any object circa 2016. Then DC's car broke down. Barrichello was once again leading a race. This left Alesi in second and Frentzen in third, with Frentzen quickly becoming the underdog of the season. It then started raining. A lot. Barrichello pitted, as did Hakkinen. But Barrichello managed to get out just ahead of Hakkinen in the pouring rain, and Jean Alesi crashed. Villeneuve crashed. Again, this is his 7th consecutive retirement. Fucking wanker. Fisichella almost became a victim, but he was too based and simply didn't. The safety car came out. Hakkinen tried to overtake Barrichello after the safety car went in, but Barrichello's aura was too strong, and he spun him via telekinesis. Hakkinen's race was ruined. Schumacher overtook Barrichello for a little bit, but Barrichello's immense mind power destroyed Schumacher's steering wheel, forcing him to pit for a new one and regaining the lead. However, Magneto's skills were no match for Eddie Jordan's immense intellect, who put Frentzen on a one-stopper. He soared into the lead and took victory like it was easy. Bless up! Oh yeah, Hakkinen got the second.
I've written a script, right? Edge Frentzen into the gravel into the first corner, drill Irvine, Schumacher and Hakkinen are going to have each other off, follow Coulthard. He's going to come in 10 laps to go because he's going to be so surprised the car's still running. Yeah. You go on to win, yellow flags waving. Yeah. How about that?
I think you should drive and I'll do the commentary.
Silverstone, everyone's favourite Grand Prix, let's be real. The top three lined up as follows: Hakkinen, Schumacher and Coulthard. Lights out and away we go, and Villeneuve DNF'd again off the line. Fucking hell, he lasted about as long as a North Korean conscript finding porn for the first time. Meanwhile, Irvine's got an incredible start. He's taken Schumacher as teammate. Words are jumping around the page whilst I read them. Schumacher's trying to get back at him, and his brakes decide to try to kill him and put him into the wall at 190 miles an hour, breaking his leg. Meanwhile, Hakkinen was looking strong, far out in front, until his wheel decided to hand in its 2 months' notice. And he was no longer looking strong. Coulthard ends up inheriting the win at his home Grand Prix. Irvine a strong second, solidifying a great start to the season from Irvine, who became an unlikely title contender.
Fuck it, hang on.
Quick to chat shit whilst I was doing it.
Austria.
You sound like English.
Shut up! Also known as, and listen to the culture in my voice here, 28, Grosser Preis von Österreich. Thank you. I can't lie, that's not as exciting as the race got. It was just boring. But Michael Schumacher wasn't in it. And so, a new challenger appeared at the front of the grid. Someone with a famous and brilliant first name. Someone who had fucked around at VAR earlier in the season. The legend that replaced Michael Schumacher is Mika Salo. Yeah. The crowd goes mild. He was shit in his first race. Qualified 7th, finished 9th. What a load of wank. Hakkinen and Coulthard decided to have a little bit of a fight, a little bit of a spat, ending up with Hakkinen being absolutely fisted and having to recover the entire race.
This race severely impacted their relationship.
Eddie Irvine won quite easily.
Hakkinen finishes in 3rd position.
The only other sad thing was the last race that Pedro Diniz, that guy, this was the last race he ever scored points in. On to the 10th round of the 1999 season, we land in Germany at Hockenheim. Quite a prestigious track and one of my personal favourites that should make a return to the calendar if at all possible. Qualifying saw a little bit of a surprise at this track. I mean, Hakkinen was on pole by 0.05, but who was in second? Once again, the man in the wonder that is the Jordan Mugen Honda, Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Coulthard and Salo finished the top 4 with Irvine in 5th. What the fuck happened to the Ferraris there? My god. On the opening corner of the race, guess who crashed out is Mr. Villeneuve. And out in the first corner. My god. What the fuck happened to him this year? Frentzen had an horrendous start. Do you want to shut the fuck up?
Diniz, by the way. It's pronounced Diniz. It's Pedro Diniz.
What I've been saying, Diniz?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Come on.
Frentzen had a horrendous start to the race, being overtaken by both Salo and Coulthard. Irvine didn't do much better, with Barrichello passing him in the Stewart. Fucking hell, Ferrari.
I mean, let's be real, the Stewart kind of wasn't that shit, was it? Really?
My brother in Christ, it's against a Ferrari. It's a 1999 Ferrari. Like, it should be doing better. First lap as well. Olivier Panis, or Panis, or whatever the fuck you call him. He fought around Schumacher and damaged his car. I mean, Alesi had to pit off the first lap after being caught up in that. Yeah, I mean, it was just a bit of a clustercluck at the start of the race, really. Coulthard tried passing Salo. Absolutely battered his car, had to pit, came out, tried to overtake Panis off track, and was handed a stop and go. Well done. What a good event that is for him. Hakkinen and his scheduled pit stop was absolutely done in by his fuel pump not working. Hakkinen had to charge up the field until his tyre exploded, his rear wing died, and he spun into the barrier on lap 26. Brilliant. Well done, McLaren. Cocked it up horrendously. Salo had been leading, God bless that man. But team orders, he had to let Irvine pass. And Irvine decided to just win. Brilliant.
Nothing fucking happened. Hakkinen won from pole. Coulthard came second, Irvine third. That was the kind of Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas of this year. Villeneuve retired again. This was his 11th consecutive retirement. They say consistency is key in F1. I'm not sure that's quite what they mean. We have something to note, ladies and gentlemen, because the most based moment in Formula 1 history happened here. Jacques Villeneuve and Zonta, whose first name doesn't exist, made a pact on who had the biggest balls to take Eau Rouge flat out. Basically, what that ended up happening was Villeneuve spun out to the right, had a huge accident and wrote off the car. And then, about 5 minutes later, Zonta, unperturbed by seeing his teammate hit the wall at 190 miles an hour, decided, I'm not going to go against this bet that we have going on. Fuck knows how much money was on the line, because the fucker still took it flat out and had an even bigger accident and turning his car into a Beyblade, coming to a stop with no tyres, no front end, no rear end. The only thing left of the car was the engine, the driver's seat, the driver himself, and the steering wheel. Miraculously, both cars were rebuilt for the race, which was a bit of a shame, really, because nothing fucking happened. Coulthard took Hakkinen at the first corner and won. Hakkinen came second. Frentzen P3, and Hakkinen was a bit pissed off with DC for showing a little bit of the spice towards his teammate, and he refused to shake his hand at the end of the fucking race. On another note, this was the first race that Villeneuve finished in the season. Yeah, the standard was that bad. Are you having a wank, mate? What the fuck is that man jonking his shit over the fact that Villeneuve...
By golly, I have an unsucked Johnson over here.
Moving swiftly on, this was also Damon Hill's last race that he finished points in. A moment of silence, please. And anyway, other than that, there was literally nothing that went on this race. By Spa's standards, this was a bit boring. So, moving on. Everyone's favourite race. Not really. Hakkinen held the pole at the start, because that's just what he does. Through goes Zanardi! Zanardi blew past Coulthard and Frentzen for second place. I mean, big up my guy. What a legend he is, let's be real. Frentzen repassed him quickly, however, and DC fell further back behind Schumacher and Sarlo. Sarlo found his stride, you know, in the Ferrari. Wait. Hang on. If Schumacher's back at Monza, where's Sarlo racing at the moment?
It's Ralf Schumacher.
Alright, viewers, my bad. I forgot Ralph existed. DC... yeah, so DC fell further back behind Ralph and Sarlo. Meanwhile, at the back of the grid, my favourite driver, Marc Jean, or is it Gene? Marc Genie. Hello, Genie. He tangled with the arrows of Pedro De La Rosa, my favourite test driver, and took himself out of the race. De La Rosa managed to continue on until lap 30, whoever knows the fuck.
35.
35, there we go. On the second lap, Benison's Fisichella and the Sauber of Deniz, not Denise, both spun off at the Rettifilo chicane. Foreshadowing? I think not. Or maybe. Lap 24.
Konosuke Takagi
tried taking Luca Badoa and ended up just ramming him up the arse because why not? On lap 30, and this is what everyone's here for, guys, Hakkinen lost his car downshifting at the Rettifilo and spun out, which led to him crying in a bush. And Marshall's looking on, not knowing how to console the shaking shoulders and the weeping. I don't know what I'm saying.
Weeping.
At the end of the day, man spun out and threw away the win, and he was sad. Frentzen holds on for the win. Yep, and there we go. So that's my part done.
Yay! As if there wasn't already races in Europe, the EU Grand Prix was about to begin at the fucking Nürburgring of all places. Ooh, I was just sick in my mouth. I will apologise. This is a long one, as only 10 cars actually finished the race. Frentzen qualified first. That, again, I will keep crying on about this for the rest of my life. Coulthard finished off the front row, with Hakkinen and Ralf Schumacher in 3rd and 4th. Fucking Eddie Irvine was done in 9th. It just imagine being out-qualified by Jacques Villeneuve form. I would take myself out to the back of my trailer and cry into a hole in the ground.
Rob, you do live in a trailer, don't you? You are trailer trash.
Just because I drink White Monster does not make me trailer trash. At the start, this race was immediately a bit of a fucking shit show, as the race organisers had a sneaking suspicion that some teams were cheating on the starting lights. As they lined up on their grid positions, the lights went out, and the top 5 qualifiers and a wild Jean Alesi jumped the start. Now, normally, this would be an absolute disgrace, as they've been caught out as cheating. However, guess who it is? Zanardi and Genet, being the most intellectual and sophisticated people that they are, had lined up out of position on the grid. A new formation lap was started, and they had to line up again. On the restart, everything was smooth. No jumping of the lights, none of that malarkey, and Heinz Harald Frentzen, the man with the biggest testicles on the grid, led away from Hakkinen at the start. First corner, Damon Hill, the man who just kept getting fisted, suffered an electrical failure in the middle of the pack, forcing Wirtz to fucking swerve into, as Charlie would pronounce it, Dinitz, or what the fuck you want me to call it. The Sauber, tear your foreskin off with my teeth. Wirtz swerved into Dinitz, barrel rolling the Sauber. Now somehow, Dinitz was unhurt, despite the roll bar failing when hitting the ground. God almighty, how he did that, I have no clue.
I saw that, I was like, how the fuck is his neck not just snapped?
His neck hit his knees. Like, that's how this man was full of like a pretzel. After this initial excitement, the race thought, I could be a little bit funny and be a little bit boring. I mean, the only other excitement from this part was Irvine passing Fisichella, but, you know, realistically, who cares? Well done, everybody. But the weather. Water fell from the sky. This little bit of water caused so much fucking chaos, it's unreal. Hakkinen pitted for wet tyres, despite the rain blowing over quickly and the track drying, meaning he was absolutely shafted. Irvine pitted for dry tyres after the rain left, and the stop lasted 28 seconds as the mechanics decided to get confused over tyres and what they're for.
There's no tyre!
I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, I thought we had one when the race started, he's saying. Well, this is ludicrous. This is
Now
blown
we're going
it.
to have a committee meeting about it. Stick it on and send him out.
Well, this has blown it for Irvine, blown it for Ferrari. I don't know what's happened, but there was a major misorganisation.
Again, well done, everybody. It's almost like history repeats itself. Hakkinen, who was still on wet tyres, was lapping around 7 seconds slower than the leaders and was overtaken by Irvine, you know, dropping into 13th. God. Ralf Schumacher, the second Schumacher, the forgotten man. Brilliant. I don't know why I put that down, that was pointless. Irvine and Hakkinen were well out of the points, and if the order had stayed the same, Frentzen, Irvine and Hakkinen would have all been tied for points with 2 races to go.
Frentzen and Fisichella has exited the pit lane. Frentzen stopped.
Frentzen, after his pit stop, after he'd forgotten to disable the car's anti-stall system. Well done. I mean, the team claimed it was an electrical issue after during the race, but realistically, Frentzen had fucked up. Coulthard inherited the lead and stayed out well in front until the rain came. He, on his dry tyres, slid off the road and out of the race. By this point, both championship contenders had been out of the race and lost all hope of winning the championship. Oh hey. Ralf Schumacher led the race, and he was also still on dry tyres. Fisichella, who also remained on dry tyres, took the lead when Ralf pitted as the rain stopped. At this point, the fucking third realm was opened up onto the world as Johnny Herbert had moved up the order, changing to wet tyres at the right time. I'm nearly done, don't worry. Lap 49. Done.
Are we going lap by lap? Fucks.
No, you kill yourself.
Bro, this is taking forever.
Johnny Herbert then inherited the race, and he would keep the lead until the end of time at this point. Fucking hell. The Minardis decided that this would be a great place, as Luca Badoa was in 4th, and Genet was in 7th. Again, the third realm has opened up upon us, and the gates of hell are swarming with Genet and Badoa. But, because God hate Minardi, But Noah's gearbox failed on, with 13 laps to go, and Angel's punished for their hubris. The standings say, it's all good.
Get on with it!
Hakkinen turned up the pressure, forcing everyone to make a mistake, and he took 6th. Well done, Hakkinen. You are mental. So this was the only race that Stewart GP ever won. Thank you to Johnny Herbert and his bullshittery. The last win for Johnny Herbert. Good. I hate that man. The last podium for Prost team, thanks to Jarno Trulli. And the last podium for a Peugeot engine. Well done, everybody. That was fucking struggle.
That recording is the length of our last video. This was the first ever Malaysian Formula 1 race. Michael Schumacher is back from his broken leg and he put it on pole by a second. How? I don't fucking know. Michael led from the start and looks like he was going to win the race, but he didn't. He let Eddie Irvine pass him on lap 3 on team orders. There was no way he was ever going to win the championship, so why fucking bother trying? This would be shamelessly replicated a couple of years later, every single race for Rubens Barrichello. So he got his payback. His new job was blocking the McLarens behind him. For a bit. David Coulthard made it past him on lap 5, but in typical Coulthard fashion, he retired on lap 15 with a fuel pressure issue. Crazy. Their last hope was Mika Hakkinen. All they had to do was out-strategize Ferrari, so of course they completely fucked up the pit stop and only gave him half a tank of fuel. Their logic behind this is that they would spend less time in the pits and so get out before Michael Schumacher. They didn't. Sick. The rest of the race was shit. It was a Ferrari 1-2, which is terrible for Hakkinen. But post-race, both Ferraris were disqualified. That's because of barge board infringements. This handed Mika... What?
I laughed.
Okay. This handed Mika Hakkinen and McLaren both championship post-race, which was crazy and incredible for about 5 minutes until Ferrari appealed and the drivers got their positions back, taking the championships back away from McLaren. Yeah, it was a fucking joke.
God, we are tired. This has been long. This was the championship decider. Hakkinen had to win this race. Michael Schumacher decided to put it on pole by, going up for half a second. Crazy. Hakkinen was in second, Coulthard in third, Frentzen in fourth, and Irvine struggled in quali, crashed, and only got 5th. Well done, everybody. Hakkinen beat Michael Schumacher off the line and just fucked off. Brilliant. Sorry. And Damon Hill span off track. A star way for him to end his F1 career. David Coulthard makes a mistake, spinning into a wall, losing the nose of his car, pitted, and came out 1 lap down just ahead of Michael Schumacher. Now this is important, as it's alleged that despite being a lap down, he held Michael Schumacher up on purpose for a while, before retiring later with hydraulic issues. Intriguing. Mika Hakkinen took the flag at the end of the race by 5 seconds, ahead of Michael Schumacher, winning the driver championship. Irvine, despite his shit qualifying, finished 3rd, securing Ferrari's Constructors' Championship. Brazy. And that concludes the 1999. We're all very tired, we've all been drinking. Please leave us alone for a bit.
I can't believe people don't talk about this one more, but I guess now they will for the 5 people that watch this video. Yeah.
Underrated. It's the most underrated season of all time in my opinion.
Give it the love it deserves. Go watch the races. Sorry this has been such a long video, but if you're still here, well done.
You sacked my friend, you fucking wanker. Happy birthday. Come on, you guys. Are you all Swiss or something? You've been to the birthday.